Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of your favorite midday NFL show on the internet, fourth and forever, Roundtable Sports, real coverage from real fans. Guys, we are inching closer and closer, and I understand that the title is suggesting week one NFL matchups to watch, and we are going to be unpacking that, but I'm anxious. I need to preview some games, and I haven't even told Richie or TD this, but I really want to touch into the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles preview today. I really want to touch into the Friday matchup in Brazil, the LA Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs, amongst other storylines surrounding your favorite league. We ask each and every single one of you as you come in to please hit that thumbs up sign. Some of our clips are going absolutely insane all across the Roundtable network. Shout out to Richie and our interns for putting in all of that work. I saw some Packers fans ripping me apart in the clip that we uploaded yesterday about how I thought the Dallas Cowboys won the trade. But that's the nature of the beast. Richie, how's life? Talk to me. What's going on?
Life is fantastic, man. It's football week. We got football in literally 2 days. I am working so much. I did a live stream last night on Jets Media at like 9 p.m. Because I was just working all day on Roundtable Sports stuff. And I'm like, I can't forget about Jets Media. No. And I'm like, man, I don't ever do these nightcap shows. And usually I'm checked out at night. I'm usually checked out. I don't like to work. But I had a nice, productive show late in the evening for my Jets community. But now we are here on this beautiful Tuesday, September 2nd. And the one thing I got to say is this, man. I'm so excited for this weekend. And the weather is looking good for week one for my game that I'll be going to for the Jets. Back-to-back Jets Media Day events that I've had has been terrible with weather. Oh, boy, it looks good. Sunny, 75 degrees is on the agenda for football in New York this Sunday, man. Week one is here.
So what's the weather calling for on Sunday, bro?
I'll give you the updated right now. East Rutherford, New Jersey, Sunday. Uh-oh, what is it? Oh, God.
Oh, now it's saying it's going to rain?
Yeah, but the rain is at 3 a.m., baby.
All right.
1 p.m. is 72 degrees and sunny.
That is 72 football weather, baby. Mm-hmm. That is football weather.
It better stay like that. I can't take it.
Damn, dude. Listen, man. I hope that the weather is at least nice, especially what Aaron Rodgers is about to do to your team.
Whoa.
So, but, hey, listen, we'll save Steelers and Jets for Thursday or Friday or something like that. TD, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Football is right around the corner. Listen, man, we got less than 3 days and kickoff is here. I can't wait for those primetime games. And you know, the NFL did us really nice this year. Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday. I mean, it's just a beautiful week of football that we're about to get into, and obviously Saturday for college. But here we are, fourth and forever. Hey, man, let's get into another great show.
Let's get into another great show indeed. So the NFL Top 100 is complete, ladies and gentlemen. We have the top 10.
I wanted to talk about this. I'm happy you brought this up.
Oh, you did want to talk about it. Perfect.
I did.
So I will tell you what, I was doing my thing, and I ended up pulling up the top 10 and then also the top 100. Let me go ahead and pull this up. NFL Top 10. And here you go.
Did you see them yet?
What's that?
The NFL released their top 100 lists, and they released the top 10.
Yeah.
Look at that, man. So we have the NFL Top 100. All right,
Shrink that screen a little bit. Shrink.
What I think should be interesting as well is we should take a look at 11 through 20 as well. So we can ultimately end up giving our complaints about this top three. NFL Top 11 through 20. Let's just pull this up so we can have a good understanding. This is what it was looking like. At 20, you have Amon-Ra St. Brown. 19, Jalen Hurts. 19, Derek Stingley. 17, Dexter Lawrence. Fred Warner at 16. Goff, 15. Trey Hendrickson at 14. Sewell at 13. Chris Jones at 12. TJ Watts at 11. And then here is the top 10. At first glance, what is your biggest complaint on the top 20 in the NFL? I'm starting off with TD on this one.
My biggest complaint, I actually don't really have one.
Really?
There you go, Dan.
Yeah, I don't have a complaint. I mean, maybe Josh Allen's a little too high, but it's okay. He had a good season.
Oh, my God.
But
I wanted to get your thoughts of that right away. I mean, you're talking about the MVP of the league isn't even the number one quarterback on the list.
Tyreek was number one a year ago, and he wasn't the MVP. That's
He
not
was
how it
offensive
works.
player of the year.
Yeah, well,
Just like Saquon.
So, exactly.
So what do you mean by Tyreek? I said he's not the number one quarterback.
Oh yeah, I mean, because he's not. He's not. I mean,
Yeah, but TD, my question was he won MVP, which is a quarterback award.
Which the NFL this year, the writers that voted, they took a hit this year on MVP. They hurt the integrity of it. It'll be fine. They'll get back on track. But everybody in their right mind knows Josh Allen was gifted the MVP. Okay. Now he was awesome. He was great. He was deserving of being second place, but he wasn't the best player in the league. Lamar Jackson was, but Josh Allen won it. And at the end of the day, hey, he got it. They voted on it. But you know what players believe? You know what players, where the real respect comes is where players are voting on it primarily. And in the top 100 tells you all you need to know. This is what the players say. This is who they fear the most. And it's not a knock on Josh Allen. They're going to take this as hate because he's number 3. That is phenomenal. Anybody in the top 10, it's like, wow. So it's not a knock. Players fear Lamar Jackson more than they fear Josh Allen. That's just a fact.
Mm-hmm. So first off, that's complete and utter nonsense. One thing I will say, it's very important. It's very important to understand the context of this NFL top 100 player voting period. Voting occurs between Thanksgiving to January 1st of the previous regular season. Mm-hmm. And that was when Lamar Jackson entered into the conversation of, oh my God, maybe Josh Allen is not going to be the NFL's MVP. And well-deserved, right? Like with Lamar Jackson, he had a great back half of the regular season. I'm not taking that away from him. But again, I'm going to die on this hill. If you were to separate NFL fans that do not have a deep-pitted hatred for the quarterback of Josh Allen, and you separate biased Bills fans, I'm willing to admit that probably about 80% of them would look at this the way that it should be looked at. Lamar Jackson, while proven that he can elevate his team without star-studded talent around him, I can assure you and promise you this. His supporting cast leaps and bounds better than Josh Allen. He had 8 Pro Bowlers. He had a couple of All-Pros. While Josh Allen had Josh Allen. Several times you guys hear this on the show over and over and over again. The Buffalo Bills are truly Josh Allen. So the NFL top 100 does not suggest most valuable. Josh Allen is clearly the most valuable to his team than Lamar Jackson. No. Because they had literally one of the best running backs in the NFL.
So let me ask this follow-up question. Who's the better football player?
Who's the better football player? I would give it to Josh Allen because he can stay healthy. He stayed healthier.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Both healthy. Who's the better football player?
Definitely Josh Allen.
Okay. You just said that was the reason, though. Give me another reason if it's not the health.
We'll go with career statistics.
Oh, listen, let me say something, Richie, about this whole narrative that people love to cast. Okay, it ain't Lamar Jackson's fault that Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills front office can't put a better supporting cast around him, and he's already proved it with less of a supporting cast. Without the Derrick Henry and everything in a struggling offensive line in the past, he has proven. Let's not forget the man has won MVPs with much less. So just because he starts to get a supporting cast that helps make the team better for the ultimate goal of a Super Bowl, he's getting penalized for it. No, that's just, in my opinion, it's just not how it works. As you get a supporting cast, like Saquon Barkley, for instance, a lot of people thought that Lamar Jackson's stats would go down as a result of sharing the carries and having a more reliable run game to not pass the ball as much. But no, they didn't go down. They either sustained or increased. So there is a benefit of having better things around you, but those things can also pull from you statistically, and he did not allow that to happen to him. Why is it that Buffalo Bills fans get so up in arms at the fact that he is the third best player in the NFL? That players see it that way. The men that are on that field putting it on the line see it that way. Why are y'all up in arms? It is okay. He won the MVP. Be proud of that that diversity inclusion trophy that he got. Okay, so let's just call it what it is. Dan, it's not a slap in Josh Allen's face to say he's number. And by the way, Dan, hold on. We're talking about Lamar Josh. So are you saying that Josh should have even gotten it over Saquon?
Yes.
Oh,
for sure.
See, you okay? You don't think you have? Okay. They call me delusion all the time. You don't think you have blinders on for your guy?
No, not at all. It's as unbiased as humanly possible. I am coming out as unbiased as humanly possible. And look, listen. I have all the respect in the world for Lamar Jackson. I genuinely do. He's a good quarterback. He's one of my favorites in the league. However, here's the deal. Nobody is asked to do more than Josh Allen. And whether or not that's a Brandon Beane issue with Josh Allen, he ultimately ends up delivering. Now, again, a lot of us are saying, like, who's the better player here? Sure, like, we can go ahead and put statistics up there, and let's pretend that defensive coordinators have no idea what to do in coverage when they have a guy like Derrick Henry in the backfield. Hence why all their wide receivers had crazy separation all year. Wow. One thing you can't deny is playoff success. One thing you cannot deny is playoff success as far as individual performances, statistical performances, and that's Josh Allen. He's a way better playoff quarterback than Lamar Jackson. He has better career statistics and all of the statistics that matter. He stays healthy.
Dan,
it is what it is. He's
now throw the debate.
Stands, Josh is the best player in the NFL.
So throw this debate away for a second. I just have a quick question to Dan. You know, Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen, nothing to do with that. But based off of everything you're saying about Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, which is very true, don't you think that element of the Buffalo Bills being Josh Allen is what's holding you back to winning a Super Bowl?
Thank you.
Like, don't you feel like Josh Allen's great, MVP quarterback, nothing against him. But like you said, is this a Brandon Beane thing? Is this an organizational issue? Yeah, you have an MVP level quarterback, but don't you feel like you need a better team around Josh Allen to not just win the AFC East, not just get to the AFC Conference Championship game, but to get to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl? Don't you feel like that is required? So where's your level of confidence in actually hoisting a Lombardi? Because I feel like you look at the teams that win the Super Bowl, those are well-rounded rosters, not just great quarterbacks.
Yeah, for sure. I would take that question and I would say, what do the Baltimore Ravens need to do to win the Super Bowl? Because they have what you guys have been telling me continuously that Buffalo needs. They have a well-rounded roster, and they have had less of an opportunity of winning a Super Bowl than Buffalo for the past 5 years, as far as consistency. For the past 5 years, this Buffalo Bills team has been far more consistent than any other team in the NFL, barring the Kansas City Chiefs. That is the only thing. I honestly think the key for anybody to win the Super Bowl is for Reed to retire from Kansas City and for Patrick Mahomes to get that horseshoe out of his ass. Like, that is the key for the Buffalo Bills to win a Super Bowl. That is the key for anybody to win a Super Bowl, because, like, we're all like, oh my God, yeah, dude, like, we just need to put more support and help around Josh. Like, look, like, we've had good rosters, right? Like, we've had nobody on our roster. We've won all over the place. So, like, this, like, we need your GM to do a better job of throwing help around Josh Allen. Well, look, I'm sitting here looking at the Baltimore Ravens. I'm sitting here looking at the Cincinnati Bengals, and they all at one point had incredible rosters. And again, they are sitting in the L column for not bringing home a Lombardi. So, look, like, some people are just like, oh, like, maybe you need to go out and spend some money on an elite wide receiver or an elite type running back. That's not the kind of GM that we have. Like, we're not going to go on ahead and just put 30% of our overall cap space into 3 players, because that recipe also does not work. Look, as far as individual quarterback play, as far as knowing that we're going to be in the dance and we have an opportunity, because football is a game of inches. Football is a game of chance. It's based off of who has the lighter injury report, who makes the most out of 1 or 2 plays at any given moment. And I just need to continue to hold on to optimism that one of those days, those 1 or 2 plays are going to work out in our favor.
Okay, so here's what gets me about this conversation with the Buffalo Bills and how they're made up. And this is why I feel the way I feel about record predictions this year, right? We compare, well, look how far they've gotten to cope for the Bills. Well, let me ask y'all a question. Who has the tougher division over the last 5 years where Buffalo's been consistent? The Baltimore Ravens or the Buffalo Bills? Who's had the tougher go in their division the last 5 years? Consistently.
Okay.
One has had a slugfest through and through the division. The other has had a cakewalk. And that is the difference. That is the major difference. And this is why I keep telling y'all, Buffalo has benefited from a weak division for the last 5 years. I guarantee you, if the Buffalo Bills were in the North, they would literally have 2 more losses every season. That don't mean they still wouldn't be good. I'm not saying they still wouldn't be good, but they would have 2 more losses every season, and the whole outlook would be totally different. They'd be going on the road in the first round a lot more often, and then we'll see how it all stacked up. So I'm sorry. The comparison is not even close, in my opinion. I think that those teams in the North, especially Baltimore, and to be so good in that division, come on, man. We got to be honest about it. They have the tougher go every year, every single year. But this year, you're gonna know what that feels like, Dan.
So with the Buffalo Bills, you need to understand this. Yes, we have 6 games in a weak division, and it's going to be much of the same this year. We're going undefeated in the AFC East per usual. However,
and I'm delusional. Okay.
However, one thing that I do like to point out is that, like, you were looking at a team that has beaten every single NFL team since Sean McDermott and Josh Allen, with the exception of Philadelphia Eagles, but that's happening this year. Last year, we're coming off of a season where we ended up taking down 2 one-loss teams in a single season by itself. This team has proven that we can hang with the juggernauts. We've done it a million times. We match up well against these juggernaut teams. We beat teams we're not supposed to all the time. Yes, I understand that maybe the division is a bit more competitive in the AFC North. Maybe you should send over a letter of concern to some of your front offices so we can all make that work. But yeah.
Dan, last thing I'll say on this, because back to the whole point of the top 100, you saying that Josh should have been above Lamar and Saquon. Let's not forget the players are voting, right? Obviously, having Josh Allen number 3, the players are giving Josh Allen his due respect. And I always say this. When 2 guys are at the top, I'm pretty confident that most NFL players looked at both of these players and said, who do I put ahead of who? Josh or Lamar?
Yeah. Okay.
You know what they say? You know what they say? Man, did they have a head-to-head in the regular season? Did they do in that situation? Who performed in the big moment?
So do they have head-to-heads in the playoffs, CD?
No. Remember when this vote was?
Do they have head-to-heads in the playoffs too, or not?
But let me ask you a question. What was the score in the playoffs versus the score in week 3 or 4 whenever y'all played them? It was a whole different story. They blew
Who were we missing? Yo, hey, who were we missing on defense on week 3? Hey, who were we missing on defense?
That was
Let's not look. Let's not pretend that didn't play a role, because when Buffalo had all of those guys back during the playoff game, what happened? We won. We won, my friend. That's exactly what it was. Let's stop pretending that us losing our starting safety, both of our starting linebackers, and our slot corner during that game played no effect and serves no excuse. When you saw all of those guys returning for the playoff game, and lo and behold, Buffalo wins.
Wow.
It's got to be something. Let's stop ignoring that. Like,
Who was
I
missing?
could see,
Who was missing week 3? Who was missing?
You had Taylor Rapp, you had Matt Milano, you had Terrell Bernard, and Taron Johnson. You had
A
our
bunch of
starting
irrelevant.
linebacker core completely out. Of course, Derrick Henry is going to be running all over Joe Andreessen. It's true. Ask ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT who on the defensive side of the football was missing on week 3. We had 4 of our starters against defense. It's how it is.
Who scored the most points last year offensively in the league?
So was the Buffalo Bills with playoffs combined.
With playoffs combined. You see,
we were number 2 only to the Detroit Lions. We scored more points than Baltimore.
You see that? So, Dan, the reason why I said that is last week without you here, I don't know if you saw this or heard from this.
Yeah.
We were having a Buffalo Bills conversation, and I said that the Buffalo Bills had the most points scored in the NFL last year.
It's true.
And I'm like, Dan was the source of that. And then the chat started calling me out. Richie, you're giving us false information. That ain't true. You learn ball. I'm like, what do you mean that's not true? I thought that's what Dan said that, and I looked it up, and it wasn't Lions.
Playoffs combined, we scored the most.
Playoffs combined part.
Fifth.
I guess I didn't. I think you. Yeah, that's where you lost me.
We got to fact check Dan around here, y'all. I don't know, man.
Well, folks, luckily Google is free. So just go on ahead and look at our average points per game with the Buffalo Bills. We were an incredible offense, right? And by the way, non-Bills fans probably can't name 3 wide receivers on our team last year. So thankfully that's the case. It just goes to show you why Josh Allen's the number 1 quarterback in the NFL.
Well, the people have spoken, Dan. The players have spoken.
Hey, you know what, dude? I hope that he has that on a chip on his shoulder. I'm not mad about him. I'm not mad about him being number 3. Whatever. Like I said, it's these players voting between Thanksgiving and January 1st. Everyone knows how the media direction was taken, the Lamar Jackson hype, although that he had a legendary running back. He had like 6 All-Pros and 8 Pro Bowlers on his squad. Oh, okay. Yeah. Surprisingly enough. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the Sunday night matchup.
When did you say they vote?
It's between Thanksgiving and January 1st. Thanksgiving and January 1st is when the voting is done.
Yeah, January 1st. That's all I heard. And that's enough. That's enough.
Is it though?
Yeah. Why not? Why they you want them to finish the playoffs too? That's a whole different season.
Of course, because that's where legends are born.
Ooh.
Like that's where legends are born or during the playoffs,
well, yours still in the womb waiting. We still waiting on Josh Allen to be born.
Dude, look, he is the most statistically efficient quarterback in NFL history. In the playoffs. He's one of the most. He has the most playoff wins out of any quarterback in NFL history without a Super Bowl. Like he has the same amount of playoff wins as some of the greats with multiple. So what does that tell you? It tells you that the Buffalo Bills defense lays an egg when it matters most. And I'm not even going to give him that much shit because you want to know why? Like sometimes you're really like held into the quality rate of your personnel. So say for example, that like you have a couple of third stringers out there during the AFC Championship, of course you're going to get screwed over. I'm not mad at an AJ Klein who was literally on the couch 2 years ago being called up to play linebacker and to try and cover Travis Kelce. I'm not mad at Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid attacking AJ Klein. I'm not. That's a perfect game plan. He's a bum. Take advantage of him. I'm not mad at Patrick Mahomes targeting Kyer Elam all game when Christian Benford was taken off of the field. That's a quality game plan. It is what it is. But that's all it is, man.
But it's hypocrisy because when the Dolphins lost in the first round of the playoffs to the same Kansas City Chiefs, and the week before we literally brought in 3 defensive pass rushers over the age of 40 because we didn't even have one on the roster. Oh, that didn't matter. None of that mattered.
So no one even thought that Miami had a shot. I wasn't paying attention to your injury report or anything. Like people know that Buffalo has a shot at all these games.
You think people believe y'all got a shot against the Chiefs?
Dude, at least people know that Buffalo has a shot during playoff games. Like you guys fell ass backwards into the playoffs that year. Like ass backwards into the playoffs.
Do the Buffalo Bills versus the Kansas City Chiefs have a shot in the playoffs?
No, I mean history has proven.
Yeah, it's not a shot, dude. Until you
with every single playoff loss with Kansas City, it's been determined by less than a touchdown each and every single time. Come on, dude. Like you're not seeing dude.
And you can't get over
always 2.5 points on the spread. If Vegas thinks that that's the case, I'm going to say that vast majority of America believes that Buffalo has a shot.
Well, you got to get back in the dance before you can actually see if that's the case. Let's move to the topic. We've been on this for 25 minutes. We've been on this topic for 25 minutes.
We do, as a matter of fact. And you know what? I have been very excited to discuss this game right here, my friends. It just so happens to be the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. It's a quality game Thursday night. It's at Lincoln Financial Field. I tried to do some research. Okay. Surprisingly enough, Dak Prescott is actually pretty good at Lincoln Financial, surprisingly enough. He's surprisingly pretty damn good. He's 3-3. His last win, I believe, was in 2023. Last year, he did not play the Philadelphia Eagles at all, of course, due to an injury. And then I look at, of course, this reigning Super Bowl championship team in Philadelphia. Now, there has been some attrition on the defensive line. They ended up losing Williams, so within Carter's running mate, and they also lost Sweat as well. So they have some new pieces on the defensive line, same coordinator, same secondary, which is awesome. And they have a brand new offensive coordinator. Let's keep that in mind as Kellen Moore is not there. So with all of those things, what are y'all's initial thoughts? What is your preview? And who do you think comes out on top the very first game of the NFL season? I'm starting off with Richie on this one. Talk to me.
I'm excited for this one. I think that there's going to be a lot of energy moving on into this game from a lot of different reasons. You can look at this from a lot of different perspectives. But man, what a way to start off the season. Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles taking on the division rival Dallas Cowboys, who just traded away Micah Parsons. There's so much talk about these Cowboys right now. And I think that you look into this game. I'll give you a stat. Nick Sirianni's 4-0 in week 1 as a Philadelphia Eagle head coach. They always get off the fast starts. I think the Eagles are going to win this game. They're just so good. They're just so good to start off the season. They want to go out there and prove themselves all over again. I got the Dallas Cowboys being competitive. I'm excited to see what this offense looks like with Dallas. And also there's a new coach there. Like, they're going to look a little different. I think that their offense is going to be a work in progress throughout the season. But I got the Philadelphia Eagles winning. Like I mentioned, the stat of Nick Sirianni being 4-0 in week number 1 since he became the Philadelphia Eagles head coach is going to continue. The Eagles always start off fast, and I expect them to do just that. Now, I want to ask you guys a question about one individual player on the Eagles. Do you think Saquon Barkley is going to match what he did last year, or was that such a generational season where he's going to take a step backwards?
Yeah, I think that he's going to take a step back, man. Like, that's like what history like normally suggests. When you saw that crazy year from Cooper Kupp a couple of years back, he was never the same, really just putting it all out on the field. Like, Saquon was out there basically putting an MVP type season. Like, so while I think that it's going to be somewhat similar and hopefully he does stay healthy, I'm not wishing injury on him at all. But unfortunately, he does have a pretty significant injury history, and people have forgotten about that. Luckily, last year, he was able to stay healthy all season. But no, I think that he'll still be productive, but I do see him taking a step back. What about you, TD?
I think that he picks up where he left off and has a similar season this year. I don't see anything changing over there. Now, I do want to keep an eye on, was it Philly or the Lions? Because I want to make sure I'm not mixing teams that lost their all-pro center to retirement.
They lost their center last year, the Eagles, heading into the year.
And
they still did that good. Now,
yeah,
Mekhi
so
Becton left. He's no longer there.
No. He'll be fine. I think he's going to do exactly what he did last year, repeat it again, and have an explosive year. I just don't see where's the slowdown going to come from, just from the simple fact that, hey, it's the second year, it's rare to happen. No, I'm sorry, man. Receivers can have years like that. They have an identity. Philly has an identity, and they're not going to get away from it. They're going to keep running the rock, setting up the play action, and using those skill receivers to make big plays. and keep you off tilt. If you want to stop the run, they're gonna possession receiver you to death, and then whenever you get out of that, they're gonna run you down. So they have a plan, and it's kind of foolproof. So same season for him. The only thing that can get in the way is if AJ Brown has a setback in his injury. If it re-aggravates or gets worse, and they only have the one threat on the outside, that's the only way, in my opinion, it can be hindered. But the game itself, oh man, I'm excited. I can't wait to see this one, man. This is going to be some good football. I'm excited about it. I think let me say this. The Cowboys are going to tell you who they are this season in this game. This is their season. This is their season. I don't know why I have this weird feeling that they might come out with a W, man. They might come out with a W. Let's also not forget about the Super Bowl hangover that tends to happen sometimes. I don't know why I feel, I mean, you're supposed to pick the Eagles, but I feel like the Cowboys might come out of this with a victory and, simmer everybody down from that Micah Parsons talk, because they do a good job against the run in this game with their addition that they in that trade. So look for the Cowboys to possibly win.
So I'll tell you what. So I do have the Dallas Cowboys winning this game. I do. I have some concern with the attrition on the defensive line for, of course, the Eagles. And while I still see them being effective, I think it's all going to matter on what this young offensive line can do. Second-year starting center in Cooper Beebe. What can he do to protect Dak Prescott, obviously? And then how about Tyler Booker, okay, a first-round pick from the Alabama Crimson Tide, or maybe he was second or third, one of the two, but very high, 6'5", 325 pounds. He's going to be going up against Jalen Carter, who is an absolute dog. Go Dogs, by the way. But I think that this is going to be a very intriguing matchup. Can this young offensive line maybe take advantage of some learning curves from this brand new defensive line of Philadelphia? I like the George Pickens matchup against Adoree Jackson as well. I would not be surprised. In fact, when I was going through Sleeper a bit earlier, I saw CD Lamb, like his over-under was sitting at 75.5 yards. Don't know why, but this smells to me like it's going to be a George Pickens game. Like once it's all said and done, I think that George Pickens is going to be the leading receiver going against this Philadelphia defense because I love this matchup with Adoree Jackson. I really, really do. And while I see CD Lamb making his share of plays as well, I think he has a slightly more difficult matchup with Quinyon Mitchell. Maybe CD sort of can leverage his overall so I'd say presence as a vet and maybe make him mess up a couple of times, but it's all going to be about this brand new offensive line, and can Philadelphia get this new age, new looking defensive line ready to go? And then, of course, with the brand new offensive coordinator for Philadelphia, let's remember that for the past couple of years, they've had quite a bit of attrition when it came into that offensive coordinator rate of that offensive coordinator position, right? 1 year solid offense. Next year, exact same personnel was terrible. Following year, great again with Kellen Moore, and they won a Super Bowl. And now they have a brand new offensive coordinator. So what is this offense going to look like? Because we've seen a change in coordinators for the Philadelphia Eagles has actually paid its dividends before. And it's actually hurt them in the past with the exact same personnel. So that's why I'm going with the Cowboys winning this one. 31-28.
Wow. Well, it's going to be a big game. And if you guys want to go check out our brand new sponsor, Sleeper, you guys are very familiar with Sleeper before. But now's the time to get back in the action by using the code RTS to get your deposit matched up to $100, folks. And I just sketched up this parlay on Sleeper for Thursday night's game between the Eagles and the Cowboys. Again, guys, the link is in the description of this video, and it should be pinned at the top of the chat. What do you think, TD, of this that I just sketched up? Do you see this one winning, or do I have too many lesses for your liking because you hate lesses?
I would have went less.
Which is why you always lose your money.
I would have gone less on Saquon Barkley. I would have went over on Dak Prescott's passing yards.
For sure.
And
So listen, we're not talking about how good Dak is against Philadelphia. He's very good against Philadelphia.
Yeah. That's it. Just that, Richie. I would have went under on Saquon and over on Dak. Those only switches. So I picked the under, Richie.
Shocker.
So I think I feel like I like Dak Prescott over as well. As optimistic as I feel like we are on Williams, and I do think that Williams will hit his over at 39.5, I still think it's going to be a Dak game. I think A.J. Brown under is good too. I think that this is going to be a Devontae Smith type game. And yeah, man, I like that parlay. For $100, how much does that win us, bro?
$3,300.
Damn, brother.
Yeah.
$3,300 if you put $100 on here. Remember, Sleeper is giving you $100 matched. All right, so if you put $100 down with our code RTS, they will give you $100 of free money to use on the app. It is a lot of fun, folks. A lot of fun. Available in 25 states across the country. So make sure you guys get in on the action on Sleeper. We're really excited to follow along of what they got cooked up all throughout the season. Big shout out to Sleeper for being the official sponsor of Roundtable Sports Network all season long. Link right now is in the chat, folks. So make sure you click the link and sign up today. And if you did sign up with RTS, let us know in the chat. We'll give you a shout out.
Let's go.
Man. Shout out to everybody so far. All right, so I said Cowboys 31-28 and beat the Eagles where they begin their Super Bowl hangover. Richie, you have the Eagles, and TD, it sounds like you're picking the Cowboys as well?
Yeah.
All right, so we have the Dallas Cowboys with an upset on Thursday Night Football. Let's move on to Brazil, baby. And let's go south of the equator where the Kansas City Chiefs are taking on the L.A. Chargers. I feel like I'm going to start off with TD on this one. Who do you got, my friend? So the Kansas City Chiefs, who have also had their share of attrition on the offensive line, which was a weak unit last year. Sounds like Rashee Rice is going to be gone for the first 6 games of the season. That was official last week while I was out. And you have the LA Chargers with some recent additions. Maybe it works out. Maybe it doesn't. A top 5 defense last year in scoring defense, that is. Who do you got?
I have the Chargers in this game. This is the year the Chargers will, make some noise. I'll just put it like that. They will go to the playoffs. They'll start the season putting everybody on notice, beating the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs have been on a decline as of late. It's just that their decline is at a turtle pace, but it's starting to catch up to them. I think that Patrick Mahomes is starting to regress year after year. Over the last 2 years have been 2 of his, probably on his resume from his career, his worst years. Still good, but his most unproductive years. And Harbaugh's going to have this team ready. Why am I so, bullish on the Chargers? Herbert's going to have his coming out season this year, in my opinion. I think that he's going to be an MVP candidate. He's not going to win it, but he is going to be a candidate at some point. This team is going to win a ton of games, 11 or 12 this year, and they're going to be a team to beat in the AFC. Look out for the Chargers. They're going to set the tone against Kansas City. Kansas City dealing with suspensions. Kansas City still dealing with how do they get over the hump of people figuring out what they love to used to do, and now a lot of teams run too high on them, so the big play is gone. They force Kansas City to be methodical, but you got to play mistake-free football when you play against Kansas City because that's what'll get you. They're going to be sound. They're coached well, and the Chargers have a coach that brings the same thing. So, yeah, man, I got the Chargers in this one.
Let me ask you something.
And putting up 35 points, too. On that great defense.
Your words, TD, is that the Chiefs have been showing signs of regression.
Patrick
Is there
Mahomes
signs
more
of regression, them going to the Super Bowl and not performing in the Super Bowl?
They're not going to the Super Bowl this year, Richie. They are not going to the Super Bowl.
Did I say anything about them going to the Super Bowl this year? All I'm asking is you said they're showing signs of regression. So I'm just wondering, They got bounced in the wild card round last year. Okay, maybe the divisional round, but they went to the Super Bowl. They were the AFC champions. So what did you see from the Chiefs last year that makes you think that there's a sign of regression? Because in my opinion, and I just know that everyone hops on this narrative, and I got to be the only one to defend them. I don't really care. But they exceeded everybody's expectations last year. Everybody said the same thing about the Kansas City Chiefs last year that they're saying this year. Nobody had Super Bowl aspirations for the Chiefs last year, right or wrong?
Well, that's correct, but there's a reason for that.
Did they not? Did everybody say the Chiefs are regressing this year and they're not going to be anything?
Yeah.
And what do? They went to the Super Bowl. So how is that a sign of regression? That's all I'm wondering.
First of all, there's a reason they went to the Super Bowl. Nobody considered, the reason why everybody was out on the Chiefs is because nobody considered the 12th and the 13th player. Okay? The referees, which we all should have considered, but even past that, Taylor Swift, man. Taylor Swift.
I guess we're not talking ball. You just proved my point. Thank you for proving my point.
But no. In all seriousness, though, Richie, I said that they're regressing, but lucky them, it's been at a turtle pace. They've been still getting to the Super Bowl, but it's looked uglier and uglier to get there. And then you get
going
blown
to the Super
out.
Bowl, man.
Then you get blown out into
like,
the
what
Super
are we
Bowl.
doing here?
Then you get blown out.
You guys
in the
with
Super
these
Bowl.
crazy takes makes me feel like I have to. It is what
It's
it is.
over for them, Richie. They will not go to the Super Bowl this year.
I heard that. Was that 3 years in a
Sometimes
row?
I wish that TD held the Dolphins to the same standards as he does with every other NFL team in the league.
I
do. It's like the Kansas City Chiefs, man. They made it to the Super Bowl and it was ugly, man. Hey, they made it,
That's
dude.
what I'm saying, bro.
Where's the line told?
Come on, man.
Thank you, man. It's
Come
ridiculous.
on. They had an easy ride. They had an easy path to the Super Bowl. They beat the Dolphins. They beat the team they always own in the Buffalo Bills. Come on, man. Who was the number one seed in the NFL?
Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs.
The Chiefs. We always, just like I say, with Buffalo has an easy route with the division, the Chiefs always get they have less games than everybody else to get there.
So we're just going to discredit them getting the number one seed because they played the best football in the league
I'm
throughout
not
the regular season?
discrediting them. All I'm saying to you is, and I know you've heard it before, and that's fair, Richie, but this year it comes to an end. They're not as great as people make them out to be anymore.
I just want to check you on that one thing you said of that they're showing signs of regression. I just could not disagree with that more, just because last year they exceeded everybody's expectations. So I don't know where the regression is.
And that's the funny thing about it. They did less and achieved more.
Mm-hmm.
Like the statistically and everything less and achieve more.
They don't care about stats. They care about wins.
So one thing I will side with TD on is like what Kansas City was able to accomplish last year was really almost unbelievable as far as the history of the NFL. Like they won an absurd amount of one-score games by less than a field goal.
Yes.
You can attribute that to great coaching. You certainly can. However, there is a bit of luck, of course, associated with a statistic like that. Say that they did that 3 or 4 times, for sure. 3 or 4 times for sure, like that's great coaching. But when they did it double-digit times, you need to be able to attribute some sort of luck right into that equation, right? And I'm not saying that, like, of course, Chiefs fans, don't get up in arms on this. I still think you're going to beat the Chargers, of course. I just spoiler alerted my overall prediction here. But while I see them beating the Chargers, I do see some issues with this team going into 2025. And it has everything to do with this. I have a rookie at left tackle right now with Josh Simmons. Okay, so that's something to look at. You have a second-year player right here. Or maybe he was drafted this year. Who knows? But he is a plug-and-play. Still have Creed Humphrey, one of the best centers in the NFL. And Trey Smith is also pretty quality. And some question marks with Jawan Taylor as well as your right tackle. Last year, tackle was the biggest issue for them. And now you have a big question mark with who your left guard is. I really think Patrick Mahomes is going to be seeing much of the same of last year. He's going to be running for his life. He's athletic enough to make plays, but I would not be surprised if, for example, this does bite them in the ass. I still see them winning the AFC West, of course, but I do see them taking a slight step back as far as their division and final record. Like once the playoffs are here, like that's an entire different conversation. As far as their game against the Chargers, while I have question marks surrounding their offensive line, this is not the defensive line that I'm really concerned about. And so I think that like once we watch that game, like we are all going to be like said, like, oh my God, maybe the Chiefs offensive line is not as bad as we think. But I'm not a big fan of course, with the Chargers pass rush at all. But you still have Hollywood Brown on the outside. I love that matchup, of course, with Cam Hart. I love Smith-Schuster against Still, and I also love Xavier Worthy against Jackson here from the LA Chargers by itself. This is going to be a typical boring Kansas City Chiefs game where Patrick Mahomes does death by 1,000 paper cuts. I don't see him testing their safety room in Gillum and, of course, with Derwin James, but I think Kansas City wins this game 28-14 is one.
35-21.
35-21 Chargers, you're saying?
What was the most points the Chargers put up last year offense?
Well, I'm not sure. I
feel like every game they won was low scoring. But listen, this is what I'm going to say, man, because listen, we're a few years in together of talking ball, and obviously I'm now known as a guy that says good things about the Chiefs, and I guess it pisses people off. I don't know why. But for the people that get upset when I have to defend the Chiefs, I don't want to be that guy, but have I been right or wrong about the Chiefs all these years?
You've been wrong.
I've been wrong?
Me. No. No, right.
All I'm saying is I'm saying these good things about them because no one else will. And what I mean by being right about them is going as far as they're going in the playoffs and just talking about team success. All the other debates, throw that out. I'm just talking about everybody always discredits them and always like makes excuses for them. But if someone's got to defend a team that's been to the Super Bowl 5 times in the last 8 years and won 3 of them, it's got to be me. And if that makes me the villain and makes people upset about me, I'll keep doing it.
And then 4 times, Richie, they've scored 34 last year. They scored 40 last year. They scored 34 again. And one more time, 34.
Wow. Good to know.
Yeah.
Because I felt like their identity. I'm excited to see Lad McConkey, man. I mean, this game's going to be great. I love that the first 2 games of the season are division matchups, NFC East and then AFC West. The Chargers are an intriguing team because you remember the narrative last year of the Chargers was like, oh, Harbaugh, like how good can they be in year 1? And I always was thinking they're probably going to be good in year 1, but year 2, I think the Chargers are going to be a force because it's always that second year with the coaching staff when they have a year underneath their belt. Man, the Chargers are one of those teams that I think can be that sneaky team that comes out of nowhere. And what I mean by come out of nowhere, I mean be a legit force. But we cannot forget the devastating injury that they suffered. Their left tackle's done for the year. One of the best left tackles in the league, Slater.
Yeah.
Their identity is the offensive line. Now, they got Joe Alt. They still got talent on that offensive line.
So they're moving Alt to left tackle, by the way.
They are. So Joe Alt's going to left tackle. That's not going to deter their season or anything, but what that does do is it takes away a big strength because Joe Alt at right tackle and Slater, who is a Pro Bowl level talent at left tackle, with their interior beefed up, that was going to literally be crazy good, okay?
Yeah.
They brought in Mekhi Becton in free agency, who's going to help out that offensive line, of course. But that's a big, big, big injury that could not derail the season, of course, but again, it's taken away what could have been one of the best offensive lines in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
I think the Chargers are going to be good. I'm excited to see what Amari and Hampton looks like at running back. And it's going to be fun. And honestly, I could see the Chargers winning this game.
Yeah,
I do.
They are
really.
I could see the Chargers winning this game. It's in Brazil. And I think that the Chiefs, they get off the slow starts sometimes. And, they got Rice suspended for the first 6 games. And this is one of those games that the Chargers can go into Brazil and steal it. I would not be shocked.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked.
So I just hate the matchups. So I hate the matchups for the Chargers, right? So you have Trent McDuffie on McConkey. So I think I'd probably end up having McDuffie win that one. Maybe Quentin Johnson, maybe he can bring up his preseason hype.
Lad
and run
don't
against
lose.
Bolton, maybe. Like, that's probably one of the only favorable matchups, and that's even a question. And then you have Keenan Allen's old ass going up against
Lad don't lose,
Jalen Watson.
Dan.
And then as far as Omarion Hampton, right? Like, he needs to be able to run through. First off, with the first level, he needs to have answers for Chris Jones and that interior and Karlaftis, who is really good at run defense. And then at that second level, he has Nick Bolton and Tranquil, who are great against the run. So I'm still leaning Kansas City Chiefs, 28-14.
14.
We'll see.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
We got a super chat. Is it really $50 to call in?
No, sir. It's $10 on Patreon. It is the premier member. $10 on our Patreon, folks. You ultimately end up getting a bunch of really cool benefits, including bonus content each and every single weekend, an extra episode of Fourth and Forever. And we're doing a fantasy league with some of our Patreon members as well. Many other benefits, and it goes a long way to support this overall channel. Speaking of Patreon callers, we're going to welcome in our first one, LaSalle. What up, LaSalle?
Doing good. Okay, I got two statements right now. One question and one statement. Statement is with the question. Who do you think is the quarterback in the AFC East? Not by the player perspective, but by the organization perspective and fans perspective. And then my statement is I think it's Tua.
Wait, what is the question?
So who is the best?
What quarterback has the most to prove in an organization perspective? I think it's Tua.
Okay.
Because this is what, if he doesn't go to the playoffs this time and win one, it's over for Tua in the Dolphins in Miami. It's over.
Okay.
If they have a losing season, it's over.
LaSalle, first of all, thanks for calling in and asking that question, but you are 100% correct.
It's Tua for sure. I agree.
Yeah, he has, and that's why he's probably has the potential to be the most dangerous quarterback in the division this year because he's back against the wall, and he got to punch himself out of that corner and show that he's a great quarterback this year. And you never know, man. Rich, you can laugh all you want. The reason why Justin Fields is not the answer here is because nobody even cared. They don't even expect him to do anything.
Yeah.
But Tua is the guy. This year we'll find out if he's made for this or not. And this is his future. Yeah. This is the season right here. His future is determined.
Tua back to pass throws.
So the Dolphins are on the cusp of having a complete blowout of the roster by mid-season. Say, for example, that they don't hit the ground running at the beginning, or say that they show any sign of struggle. And once the Indianapolis Colts end up beating the Dolphins on week 1, which, yes, I still believe that to be the case, I honestly see the future. Once Buffalo, and this is a take from my buddy Kevin here, once Buffalo blows the doors off of the Miami Dolphins in Miami, midway through the season, that following Monday, we get news from Schefter saying that Mike McDaniel was fired. And two of the following years. Yeah. Once Buffalo beats Miami for the second time in Miami, the following Monday, we're going to get news that Mike McDaniel was fired.
All right, Dan. I'm not going to argue with you today.
Super chats coming in from NFL Refs fan, $2. TD drafting Taj Washington and Miami D in fantasy.
I mean, ain't a bad combination.
Donnie Double Dip with a $5. Nice shirt, Dan. I didn't realize the sleeve monster was creeping around. Cowboys will be a top 5 pick next year. Bills win Super Bowl. Shout out TD, Richie, and Kolb.
Dang.
Thank you, Donnie Double Dip.
Thank you, Donnie Double Dip, indeed, for the super chat, my man. We appreciate it. My boy Tony, $2. Dan, let's give Bob a welcome back. Hashtag Jet Life. Bang! Oh, God. Hopefully the dog's not there.
Oh, man.
And by the way, I did fill him up full.
Ooh. Doesn't seem
I
like
did
you filled
fill
him
him
up
up.
enough.
All right.
Got another Patreon.
All right. Yeah, we have another Patreon caller. Talk to us, Dwayne. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's you doing?
Good.
Great.
I just wanted to say, catch all your show today, but as usual, you guys are killing it, and you guys are doing a great job on this show, and hope you continue doing it. I'm out of here.
Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you, dude.
Nice.
That's what I'm talking
My
about
boy
right
Dwayne just came in just to show a little bit of love,
there.
dude.
See what I mean?
I'm gonna be
Just
honest with you. I'm a little disappointed today.
Why?
There's a Patreon member in particular who didn't show up today. They show up every day.
Who? Glenn?
No, well, Glenn shows up every day, but it's one in particular I was really anxious in seeing today. And that's our good sir Lino.
Lino.
Lino didn't show up today, but the reason why I wanted to see Lino today is because Lino feels like Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL, but yet he did a fantasy draft and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen were on the board, and Lino selected Lamar Jackson.
How do you know this?
And I wanted to, because it was
Fantasy
Big
football.
C's, it was Big C's fantasy football league. And I wanted to ask Lino, hey, why select Lamar Jackson and not Josh Allen? But he didn't show up today. He probably can't he can't cope with what he did. So yeah, man, if y'all see Lino out here on these streets, y'all ask him about that. Y'all please ask him about that.
That is interesting, man. I can't
They
wait for
didn't
our
show
fantasy
up
draft.
either.
And I want to remind you
Yeah.
guys, if you wanted to join our Roundtable Sports fantasy draft, we will be doing it through our Patreon link, and the live draft will be tomorrow night on the AFC East Roundtable. We're going to be doing the draft for tomorrow night. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. First time doing a fantasy league with all of our Patreon members, so stay tuned for that. The link will be posted in that on tomorrow. So stay tuned, Patreon members.
Well, so I'll tell you what. Listen, selecting Lamar Jackson for your fantasy league is a smart choice because he has Derrick Henry and his wide receivers are going to be like 7 yards of separation each and every single snap. So solid fantasy news. And you know what? He probably learned that because he downloaded from our good friends over at RotoWire. Folks, RotoWire is the #1 fantasy football draft kit on the market today. Now, one thing I can tell you is that while I'm sure many of you have already done your fantasy football lineups, I have been utilizing this for all of my waiver wire pickups, my start bench week by week. This is hands down the most in-depth fantasy tool on the market today. And as long as you end up using our code RTS for 15% off, you are going to dominate your fantasy football league so far. My fantasy football team, Kirkham Size Penix, is going to win it all this year. And I cannot wait. Oh, you like my name, by the way? Shout out to RotoWire for sponsoring this channel.
Shout out to RotoWire, man. I got another draft tonight, my big draft, and I'm the commissioner, my high school boys. Where do I go?
You like my fantasy football name, TD?
Yeah, that was epic.
Yeah.
What was it again?
My fantasy football's name is Kirkham Size Penix.
Hey,
Nice.
I love it. Now,
Yes, sir.
according to RotoWire, you guys, who do you think is going to be available for me? I think I have the 9th pick or something like that.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be like an Ashton Genty type of player. Like, I don't know who I
Probably
should
an
be going
Ashton
with.
Genty.
Go Tyreek.
Is Genty a guy that I feel comfortable with?
I don't know, dude.
What do you think?
Two or Tyreek?
I don't know. Oh, I can't wait to be in fantasy with TD. He doesn't know anything about fantasy.
Yeah, I know more than you, Richie. I know more than you. We'll see. We'll see Wednesday night. We'll see.
Oh my God. Are you?
We're gonna see
oh, it's gonna be
TD
fun.
Finstock with like the 4th overall pick, and he's gonna draft like Brian Robinson instead of Bijan or something like that. Like that, like sounds like something he would do.
I'm ready.
Can't be running, TD. We got to do the whole draft.
Oh, yeah,
All
so-
right.
So
How long is that
open
gonna
up your
go?
schedule Wednesday night.
How long is that gonna be?
Oh man, we have King Lowski in the building. Lowski, what up, man?
My boy.
It's the 4th and 5th crew. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Hey man, we're doing great. How about yourself?
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I just hearing all of this blasphemy TD talking over here. Hey, Tony, you in trouble this season, bro. But let me just ask y'all this Thursday night, man. What are the Cowgirls gonna look like? I've been watching a little bit of the podcast with Skip Bayless and Gilbert Arenas, and they was talking about it earlier. I just want to know, in y'all guys' opinion, how do you see that game shaping up? And damn it, to be ready week 2 because you're going down, bump. All
This
right,
is fact. This is fact.
Dude, shout out.
Lowski came in late today. He
Yo.
missed the whole first segment. Second one.
Well, first off, shout out to King Lowski. So the Dallas Cowboys, how I look at it, man, like we need to understand something that Dak Prescott actually plays really well against Philadelphia. Like he's actually a very good QB against them, even at Lincoln Financial. He's 3-3. So it's a young offensive line, but the Philadelphia Eagles have a brand new defensive line, and the Philadelphia Eagles have a brand new offensive coordinator. We've seen, even with the exact same personnel, that their offensive production can take a hit, and depending on who the play caller is. So I suppose it's a lot of question marks, but I feel like Dallas is going to look pretty good. That and Pickens on the opposite side, that's probably going to draw away some doubles from CeeDee Lamb. I'm not too high on their run game. Like, sure, maybe some of us are hoping that Williams can do something. I'm not entirely convinced, but I think it's going to be a hell of a lot closer than people were willing to admit.
Yeah, I already said it earlier. I got the Cowboys winning this game. I think they're going to do a better job than people even realize against the run of Philly, especially with that addition through subtraction of Michael Parsons, solidifying the middle of the interior defense. I got the Cowboys winning on opening week, being able to get out and get a good start to the season.
Yeah, I still got the Eagles in this game. I just got to see what the Dallas Cowboys look like before I pick them to win. I think Philadelphia is going to pick up right where they left off. They're coming off one of the most dominating performances we've seen in the Super Bowl. It's hard to pick against them. Lascelles with a super chat, my man. Tua is also the most likely not to prove anything and get released or traded next offseason. That is true. But I honestly, going back to Lascelles' question, I could argue it's Justin Fields with the most to prove over Tua.
Well, so
because Tua at least proved something. Tua has proved something in order to get paid. Fields has not proved anything yet. Like when it comes to payday, Tua at least put up enough production to warrant a contract extension. Justin Fields has had no success in the NFL. Tua has. So I would argue that Justin Fields has a lot to prove, because if he does not prove anything this year, he will be a backup quarterback for the rest of his life. So that from that lens, I could argue it is Justin Fields who has the most to prove in the division of the AFC East. Because again, if he does not play well, backup quarterback. This is his last chance. His last chance. If Tua stinks it up this year, I think he could be a starter somewhere else, but I don't think Fields will be.
Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Folks, I sincerely appreciate everybody tuning in to Fourth and Forever, Roundtable Sports, real coverage from real fans, Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. EST. Shout out to everybody that is our everydayer that continuously tunes in. And shout out to all of the newbies that may have just been discovering this show. We hope that you stick around, and we hope that we see you tomorrow, including everyone that watched the replay of this stream. Guys, what do you have to say to the audience before we send them off on this beautiful Tuesday, September 2nd? Richie.
Folks, make sure you check out Roundtable Sports tonight. We have 5 divisional shows live. 5 of them, okay? Starting off with the NFC East Roundtable, which kicks off. They'll be previewing Thursday Night Football, and we would really appreciate it, guys. Fourth and Forever is our daily NFL flagship show, but the foundation of Roundtable Sports is our divisional shows. All 8 is live throughout the week. 5 of them are live tonight. 3 of them are live tomorrow, including hours of the AFC East Roundtable. We would appreciate it, guys, if you can go over there, support them in the live chat, hit the like button, subscribe to all 8 of these division channels. We got a lot of fun talent involved in these shows, and they're getting, I don't even know what words to use, because it's getting fun. It's getting very entertaining the more they get comfortable together of getting underneath each other's skin. I'll just leave it like that. So go check out all the divisional shows tonight. And with that, see you tomorrow.
Thank you to everybody who tuned in today. Come back tomorrow. Let's have some fun. Let's build this together. Fourth and Forever, we're here to stay. And listen, make sure you punch that like button. Subscribe if you're new. We're doing bigger and better every single day. See you soon.
Folks, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in and showing a little bit of love. And we will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Deuces.